So don't take that.
We won't take up.
Yes, let's
Episode. I haven't got my notebook.
What is our numbering system on this? Is this a 22 short films, or is this a standard
hang on.
numbered episode?
Yeah, so this is installment 4 of 22 short films.
I guess it's 3. Are we counting this as the first viewing of the movie that is on that installment? The previous 2 having been part of the standard canon of Pods in the Kids Springfield?
That's a good point. Yeah, I suppose we are.
Has our numbering system gone too complicated for a podcast with no listeners?
I don't think that's the case.
I know iTunes recently was trying to crack down on like numbering systems on podcasts, and I said to our pal Elliot over at the Simpsons Index, I'm just going to ignore this. I'm just going to pretend they're not doing any of this.
Yeah, because now they're saying they don't want episode numbers in the title.
Yeah, but you know, fuck that. We didn't fix anything, and our download numbers are only going up,
But
so everything's
also,
fine.
hey iTunes, how about how dare you tell people how to name their content?
I think they did have to walk that back a bit because everyone's like, what the fuck, iTunes?
Imagine if iTunes were like, oh, guys, so we've got a new rule for all you musicians out there. The first song can no longer be called intro. It's like, how dare you tell people what they can and can't name their content?
Wow.
All right, so 22 Flims. As you would have heard in our most recent episode, which featured E-Train of the Simpsons Index, we're watching the Simpsons movie to cap off Season 5.
Yes, everyone's favorite movie. Okay, so we're going to watch the Simpsons movie and talk while we're watching it, because we thought the idea of just sitting here watching it again and then having a discussion seemed like a tedious thing to do. We thought we should mix it up a little bit.
Extremely tedious. We didn't want to get on the T train.
Yes.
The tedious train.
And you can already listen to us talk about this movie on episodes 8 and, I don't know, like 21, something like that.
Sure. All right. I really don't want to hit X to start the movie. I'm just going to swing my mic out of the way and hit X.
Oh, we need to do like a little countdown thing. So if somebody wants to watch the movie with us, they can sync it up.
Okay.
On the off chance that one of the 3 listeners who might do that does it.
I just got an electric shock from my mic, which bodes well. Oh, an electric shock which caused my computer to stop. That's weird.
It's going now.
Oh, God, I hope that's not going to cause any weird sync issues. It looks fine.
Everything's probably
fine. Whatever. Even if this episode turns out to be horrendously out of sync and awful, just upload it. Who cares? It's a free podcast. All right. I'm going to hit play in... wait, I got to pick up the remote.
All right. Do a countdown from 25.
All right. 25. 24. 3. 2. 1. I've hit X. Oh, it didn't do anything.
No, it's going.
Oh, it's a slow DVD. I hit X as the menu started this loop, which means I did not. Oh, man, that's tedious.
Okay, if you start the movie, go back to the menu now. Unless you're watching on Netflix, in which case, I guess you don't have to do that. Okay.
Is this controller even connected? Right, I've hit play. Right.
Okay, here we go. Movie is going to start playing.
Why is this so hard?
Little Environmental Protection Agency thing.
That's right. That's right. It's a warning that's part of the film.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, movie started. Oh, I'd forgotten about this this aspect ratio we gave at the start. Is this the Academy? No, this is not the Academy ratio. This is like a... You're good with aspect ratios. Which ratio is this, Nick?
Excellent question. I think it's just 16:9, but smaller.
We're looking at maybe CinemaScope here?
Yeah, possibly. No, I think CinemaScope is wider than this. I think this is 16:9, but with black bars embedded into the top and bottom.
To ironically indicate that we are watching a movie within the movie.
Because I think...
moment.
Yeah, okay, that's right. Movie within the movie.
We are watching the Itchy and
Because
Scratchy.
I know that there are a few... So back in the days of a 3x4, when 3x4 was the standard TV definition, and things wanted to do the 16:9 closer to cinema. Yeah. Actually, I think cinema's 18:9. But anyway, lots of DVDs have those black bars coded into them. Yep. Which is ridiculous, because then if you go to watch that DVD on a bigger screen, they're coded into them, as opposed to having like a reflexive... thing where it can just, because nowadays they just fill the screen
Used to be
smartly.
the case on VHS as well. That'd be the distinction between the full screen and the widescreen versions of the movies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember being a kid and my preferred setting on the TV that I had in my bedroom was like the center zoom thing or something, because I was like, it means the heads in the middle of the screen are slightly bigger. And now it's like, yeah, but I'm missing all the framing that the camera person has done.
Yeah, which is a weird thing for you to care about, really.
Yeah.
As a non-movie person.
Yeah, it is true. So lots of little rockets.
I mean, frankly, it's weird how much you know about aspect ratios.
I think.
I literally gave a lecture on aspect ratio the other day, and I don't remember quite as much as you do.
I think it's because of my interest in photography.
Okay, yes.
I think that's what actually, because something.
The fact that I mentioned CinemaScope and you knew what it was caught me off guard, to be honest.
Homer's pointing at us, and the titles are now.
Oh, yeah, the Simpsons movie's playing.
Yeah, right.
There we go. The ratio just expanded. Frank pulls back the curtains, giving us the full frame.
Burnsy fell over.
Yep.
I suppose we can't just do a play-by-play on all the things that are happening.
I don't see why not.
All right.
Oh, Martin's up the flagpole. What a little scamp. It's a possibility there'll be people listening to this who have not seen this movie.
Well, to them, I salute you.
Oh, your favorite band is playing, Nick.
Green Day.
Oh, Green Day. About a year and a half ago, one of our listeners on iTunes sent us the Green Day cover of the Simpsons theme. Has a nice little gift.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to it back, but nice to have.
I mean, we get the vast majority of it in this song.
Should we have turned subtitles on?
Oh, I can...
Or do we know the movie,
no,
don't we?
that's fine. I can turn subtitles on. I'm just going to swing my mic away.
Can you do it without turning off the thing? Let's see if Nick remembers the... Yep, ooh, Nick's got it. Oh, there we go.
How do I get rid of that menu? There we go. Oh, those fucking subtitles look so bad.
Yeah, they do.
They're very pixelated, Arial bold.
And so the environmental message...
I had a really good font pickup yesterday, by the way.
Okay, let's focus on that instead of the thing I was going to say about the movie.
Because I mentioned Arial bold, someone was showing me a document, and they were like, look at this fucking document.
You prefer a bold Arial, like Arial Winter.
Oh, I do prefer Arial Winter. But someone said, look at this. What stupid font is that in? And I took one look and said, oh, that's Monotype Corsiva. And then someone Googled Monotype Corsiva and I was bang on.
Is this entire episode just going to be a list of the things you inexplicably know a lot about, despite not having much involvement in the scene around them?
In anything? I know.
I don't think I've ever seen you operate a camera.
I have one. I've taken some really nice photos with my camera.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's good.
Oh, hang on. What I might be able to
use your phone to take photos.
Oh, yeah. I use my phone all the time, but in an indication of how much I give a fuck about the Simpsons movie, I'm now going to take...
It was your idea to rewatch this movie.
I'm now going to take one of my favorite photos that I've taken and throw it up onto the big screen.
Okay, sure.
It won't stop the movie playing, and then I can just exit back out of it once I find the photo.
See, this whole, there's a lot of weird religious stuff in this movie.
Let my pickles go.
We've got this bad gay joke on the screen right now. We have this whole scene where they're in the church. Oh, that is a nice photo.
Thanks.
That's your friend who I won't name in case they don't want their name on the podcast.
It's my friend and a greyhound, backlit. Yeah. And I love the way the light is catching the bottom of the greyhound's jaw.
Yeah.
It's
You've got that sort of like a harmonious glow over the top of her.
Yeah. I call it Lion King light. Some people call it Jesus light.
Splitting the photo. Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Now Grandpa's having a little seizure on the floor. They never explain what this was really all about, or whether he was having some sort of vision from God, or whether he's just being a weird old man. This movie never comes back to this.
Grunting and groaning.
Yes.
That's another... The thing that annoys me about a lot of the religious stuff in The Simpsons is that it's just so pedestrian.
Yeah.
Homer was then flicking through a holy Bible saying, this book doesn't have any answers. all right, welcome to like year 8 level atheism. Like, what scintillating wit you have, Simpsons writers.
How did you go at atheism school again?
Passed with flying colours.
Okay, good.
I had another one of those fascinating chats. So, in another edition of stuff that Nick has a very granular knowledge of.
Yes.
I had a chat with a very religious person the other day about the different translations of the Bible.
Well, that checks out.
Yeah, and she told me what religion she was, like, her family was in, and I was like, oh, okay, so you'd be using the King James version of the Bible. She's like, yeah, how'd you know? It's like, it's just one of these things that I know.
I don't understand, because you don't read books or anything.
No, I don't.
Where are you getting this knowledge from?
The last book I read, actually the last 3 books I read are all on the right-hand side of that bookcase.
Oh, yeah.
So there's Raw by Samantha Jane Lane, about the first season of the AFL Women's Competition.
Sure.
There's Seinfeldia, which my sister gave me for a Christmas present. Yep. And then above that is Laura Jane Grace's autobiography. The title of which is a slur that I'm not comfortable using, even though she called it that to reclaim it.
You can't. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think of Seinfeldia?
You know what?
Book Review Corner on Posing the Key of Springfield.
Seinfeldia was one of those things where, because Seinfeld is another deep well of Homer's got a hammer in his eye.
I don't like this gag.
No, hammer in his eye.
I find it upsetting.
Seinfeld is one of those things where
recording's being a little weird. I think
computer's being very janky.
Yeah. Should be fine. Everything will be fine. It's alright. We can keep talking about Seinfeld, I think. It's picking up on what we're saying.
Yeah, I just get nervous when it does that, because we've had problems with this before.
Yeah.
It must be doing a fucking, like, loading a background update or something.
Sure.
What's Purvis?
Nervous Purvis? I know a guy whose surname is Purvis. Maybe they're talking about him.
Oh, is he a particularly jittery type of person?
No, not at all.
All right.
If anything, he could stand to be more jittery.
Oh, are you saying he's too cocksure?
He's a cocksure Purvis, yeah. You seem very concerned about this recording.
Yeah, I know, and you're not. And it's weird, because normally I'm the one breezing through saying who cares. I might just hit stop and start a new file once I find out what's happening. So we'll be back in just a moment. Okay, we are back. The playtime is at 9 minutes flat. So
exactly 9 minutes.
If anyone wants to resync themselves, because the other thing we have to keep in mind, James, is that if that recording was choppy, we may have actually got out of sync with away from real time. So we're at 9 minutes in. 3, 2, 1, play.
This movie is also about 5 minutes shorter than I thought it was.
Yeah,
83 minutes.
The disc
6 minutes longer than Stuart Little 2.
The disc took a few seconds to spin up, so my countdown is pointless.
It's fine. Everything's fine. Nobody's thought about this movie except us in about 5 years, I think.
I can't get over how poorly rendered the font is.
Yeah, this is just a DVD thing from this era. Like, if you watch a movie that's in a foreign language, quite often the subtitles have a lot more effort put into those.
I love how, after all these years, you still think that it's possible that I'll watch a DVD in a foreign language.
Films from other cultures? Preposterous.
Preposterous.
Well, I never.
If it doesn't have Vin Diesel in it, I'm not interested. I don't know who Vin Diesel is.
You don't know who Vin Diesel is?
No, I do know who Vin Diesel is. He's like the Rock Light.
You know, sometimes when you fight the street fights back. He lives his life a quarter mile at a time.
He is the one that is both fast and furious.
Yes. Now, what were we talking about? Seinfeldia?
Yeah, so my review of Seinfeldia, if we're going into book review corner,
yes,
is Seinfeld is one of those very deep wells of knowledge that I have.
Yep.
And so reading the book, and the book sets it, the reviews of the book are like, oh my god, such a deep dive into the ephemera around Seinfeld, you know, blah, 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 blah. And I'm reading through most of it going, kind of already knew that. The only thing I found truly shocking in there was that Jerry was like late 30s and started dating a 16-year-old or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish
Which is one of those things you probably should have known about. They just, they don't want people to think about that too much.
They don't want people to think about that. And also, it's one of those things where I'm surprised that knowledge that fact is public knowledge, and everyone's just kind of gone, we'll give Seinfeld a pass.
Yeah, I mean, the 90s, people tend to give things a pass if they happen long ago enough.
I think there are some current...
I mean, it's bad. It's bad that he did that.
There are some current examples of things that were happening in the 90s that show that people do not necessarily just give them a free pass.
Yeah, I mean, that's a complex issue to dig into, but yes. Yes.
Oh, so now, speaking of things that should not have been given a pass... we're
going to see Bud's fishy little dick in a moment.
Homer just told his son that he has to get nude in public.
We get another very bad gay joke of Ralph seeing Bud's fishy little dick and saying, I like men now, because that is how homosexuality works. You get turned by seeing a dick.
You just see one.
Yes.
That's all you need.
I'm about to see it. There it is.
Oh.
He's got weird shaped balls.
We didn't need that. The thing that I find strangest about this scene is that for someone
the cop takes a shot at a little boy and it's played for laughs.
Yeah, there is that.
Yeah.
And also he's not pushing on the skateboard, but he retains an incredible speed.
Yes, he does. There's a little ongoing thing on The Simpsons where Bart is an incredible skateboarder that is, kind of one of those things where Bart maybe doesn't get his due for how good he is at a thing.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. The handcuffing naked to a...
Yeah, it's hard to find this amusing.
With this... I'm not into this.
My feeling
there are in this scene, there are 3 adults wearing jackets, and not one of them has taken their jacket off to cover Bart's parts.
Fishy little dick. Yeah.
Parts.
Yes.
This is such a ridiculous premise, and we're 11 minutes into this movie, and we've seen several people willfully assault a little boy.
Yeah, I mean that shouldn't be the case in this animated movie with a PG rating.
PG for penis good.
Fucking okay, and now Homer is he's just ratted his son out to the cops. He didn't bring pants for his son. It's a weird movie, Nick.
Yeah, I'm not into it. Not into it at all.
You were so excited about watching this again.
To be fair, what I was excited about was the idea of getting the reaction from you and E-Train. And then it's almost like you shouldn't set yourself up for horrible ideas just based on the reaction you might get from 2 friends.
Did my reaction meet your expectations? Because I expected you to have such a wild idea. Although I was talking to one of our listeners the other day.
I think this is a wild idea, just to be clear.
I was talking to one of our listeners the other day, and he was so much more impressed by the twist.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's like, oh, what a twist.
Oh, fuck, that's
I did not see that coming.
I didn't cop the Mexican racism.
Weird saying one of our listeners like he's a good friend of mine, but
I didn't cop the Mexican racism in the first viewings of this film.
Mexican racism?
Yeah, Krusty says, here's my new burger. It's got like 8 bits of bacon and whatever. If you find a greasier sandwich, you're in Mexico.
That is a weird line.
I'm not a fan of that.
Not on board. No, very bad.
Just off mic for a moment. Who was the listener? Was it Mark?
No, it's Dwayne.
Oh, Dwayne. All right, cool. Hey, Dwayne. Cool. Well, I'm glad someone enjoyed the twist.
Yeah. What a time. I mean, are you not enjoying it right now as we sit here watching this fucking movie?
To be honest, I've not taken in much of the movie because we're just having a nice little chat.
We're having a nice little chat.
A nice little chat.
So Seinfeld here, I had a similar reaction. I thought a lot of I was reading like, is this not common knowledge?
Yeah. And I think because you and I are quite obsessive people.
And we probably, there's a lot of that stuff was covered in the special features on the DVDs,
yes.
I think.
Yeah. Like the time when Michael Richards threatens to bash Julia Louis-Dreyfus's head in with a 4x2.
It's good that Michael Richards never did anything controversial again after that.
Mm-hmm. I do enjoy watching those special features when I was a kid. I was like, wow, this guy actually genuinely appears unhinged.
Yeah.
In, all the decisions he makes.
Yes.
And even some of the stories he tells where he's like, I don't play golf. People invited me out to play golf and I just pick up the ball and I just throw it. And then when they say, what are you doing? He's like, well, I don't play golf. Well, here's an idea. Don't accept the invite to go play fucking golf then.
Don't professional comedians seem really tedious sometimes in the stories they tell? Like, all their stories are just about them ruining an evening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bloody professional evening ruiners.
And, yeah, I feel like I had a good joke I was going to make about Seinfeld and I forgot what it was. It's fine.
I do enjoy, there are some photos in the middle of the book. I think they're in the middle. That classic book thing of like there'll be 4 gloss pages in the middle of an otherwise matte book, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And they are the most 90s photos ever. I think I've talked about this on the pod, actually.
When you say matte book, you're referring to a book of carpet samples, right?
I am. But there are the most 90s photos ever because they're not framed well, no one's posing nicely. And it's one of those things where I know lots of people complain about the Instagram generation and how everyone thinks they're a photographer now. But I am willing to bet money on the fact that the average quality of photos now is better than the average quality of photos in the 90s.
Oh, dramatically better.
And not just in a like objective qualitative sense, but just in a people now have a much better idea of framing and composition and things like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to swing the mic away.
Because they're exposed to so many
Yeah, I'm going to
photos.
swing the mic away and pull up the exact photo that I'm thinking of to show you.
My mustache keeps brushing up against the mic. Has my mustache gone too bushy? What do you think, Nick?
Fucking, we're getting into all the big issues here.
Yeah, we're getting into starch chatter now. As in the movie, what's happening? Bart is connecting with Ned Flanders next door. Marge is, what's she telling? She's telling Lisa, oh, something about, like, how men are great.
Look
We got
at
the
this
spider pig scene. A scene that is inexplicably iconic.
Look at that top photo there.
Wow, nothing is happening in that photo.
It is shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, even if it's just, I mean, yes, it's just 2 people sitting on a couch, but these days that would be better.
Is it weird to have 2 separate scenes of Bart fishing in short space in this movie? Like,
Oh, but isn't it meant to show, like, Homer's bad and Flanders good?
Yeah, does it work, though?
No.
I don't really know why this subplot is in the movie. I don't know what it adds to anything, like Homer, Bart connecting with Flanders, because they just, like, it only really happens in the first, like, 20 minutes of the movie, and then the whole they leave town thing happens, and they can't really keep it going.
I think it's just meant to perhaps show that, because doesn't Homer gradually go and isolate everyone in the family?
Yeah.
Oh, Lisa just snapped a little notebook. What room is this? Lisa's in some huge...
Yeah, the town hall got a lot bigger.
The town hall got a lot bigger.
So they can do a bit of an inconvenient truth sort of setup.
I see.
What do you think of this movie's general environmental theming and message? Does it actually have anything to say?
I think that this movie is well and truly baked into the... Oh, the scissor lift joke is so tedious! I think this movie's well and truly baked into the mid-2000s South Park. Actually, both sides are as bad as each other type thing.
I don't know that it's quite that bad.
No, well, I mean, on the one hand, it's saying, don't pollute the environment. On the other hand, it's saying, look at how irritating it is when people tell you don't pollute the environment.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, maybe it's not quite as bad as, you know.
Isn't it kind of wild? Like, when Al Gore put out that documentary, like, a lot of people, you know, really took to it and said, well, this is a very important message. And then, like, another part of the reaction was, isn't it irritating having Al Gore talk to us about this stuff? And now, several years later, we're like, oh, no, okay, fuck. We fucked up.
Yeah.
Even, like, you know, South Park did that whole man-bear-pig thing, and I haven't watched that show in a long time, but they apparently... fairly recently put out an episode where they're like, yeah, we were kind of wrong about that. Man Bear Pig is real.
Yeah.
That's the, yeah. What do we got here?
Fat Tony's trying to dump a body.
Oh, I'm Fat Tony over here. This is what my voice sounds like. Oh, perfect impression.
Learn to listen, Lou.
Learn to listen, Lou. Did you have a Learn to Listen, Lou when you were a kid?
What, like a toilet that teaches you how to hear?
Why would it be a toilet? Oh, a loo,
Loo.
yeah. I was just thinking of like, a little doll or something that would help you learn how to listen, but a toilet.
Yeah, I was like, what would the mechanism be for a toilet that teaches you how to listen?
Well, you sit down and you're taking a shit and you sigh and learn to listen. Lou's like, what's the problem, Nick? This kid at school, he's been irritating me.
That was an extremely lazy subtitle. They just had a bumblebee man kissing a donkey at a kissing booth. And the bracket came up the subtitle came up as bracket speaks in Spanish, bracket. And all he was saying was like, holy crap, a donkey. I know how to say that in Spanish. Holy crap, un burro. I mean, the holy crap bit's not...
Mamma mia, un burro.
Yeah. Mamma mia, un burro.
I know how languages work. I bet there was just going to be you singing on the toilet, like, while you're taking a shit, telling you how to listen to people better. So I'm not going to go back to that. That's fine.
I mean, it seems like an invade. I don't need to be lectured in my one moment of peace throughout the day.
Your one moment of peace?
Yeah.
What about when you go to bed and sleep at night?
Oh, the voices don't stop.
Oh, okay. They only stop when you're taking a shit?
The voices only stop when I'm abluting.
Abluting?
In the ablutions block.
Okay.
I'm going to look up the word ablutions. I don't actually... I've heard, toilet blocks and shower blocks referred to as ablutions, but I don't know what an abluting is.
Have you thought about eating a diet that's higher in grease so you shit more?
Ablution is a noun for the act of washing oneself.
Okay.
I see.
Ablution deserves a quiet set. What's happening here? Lard Lad Donuts giving away free donuts. Okay.
Oh, Wiggum's got donuts on his gun. He's eating the donuts off the gun. He nearly shot himself in the head. His big wiggy head.
Homer's going to go and dump this and then go to the donut place. Why doesn't he just get donuts and then go back to the dump?
It's an excellent question.
I guess because then the movie wouldn't happen. It's like that whole whatever movie it is where they couldn't just shoot the horses. I'm not going to get into. I've said that anecdote on the podcast before. Listen to every previous episode.
Black
You'll eventually
Beauty?
Get to that one. No, not Black Beauty.
Seabiscuit.
Yeah, sure. Seabiscuit.
I'm trying to think of all the horse movies.
Hey, I'm Seabiscuit.
Black Beauty, Seabiscuit. Is there a Disney horse movie?
What was that? It was like Spirit of Semilian? What? No, that's...
Spirit of Sommelier.
Spirit of Sommelier, yes.
Yeah.
It was about a horse that wanted to serve wine.
Oh, yeah, totally. I made a joke last night that got a pretty big laugh, but looking back on it, I'm not sure that it should have.
Okay.
A bunch of people were talking about horses, and someone said, "Oh, do you know that horses can't vomit?" And someone said, "Yeah, it's actually really bad because if they ingest poison or anything, you basically have to get a vet immediately out to stomach pump them." And I was just drinking a beer in the corner and said, "Oh, is it because they can't get the hoof far enough down their throat?" And it got an enormous laugh, and I feel like it's a weird joke to get a big laugh on.
I like to imagine you at these after-work drinks sitting in the corner alone, just occasionally butting in with jokes.
I do. I'm like, I like to snipe with my jokes.
I'm just imagining you sitting there with one of those little flat caps, just drinking your beer.
A flat cap? Well, have I got a flat cap on?
It's just better for the character.
What, like a newsboy?
I guess.
Extra, read all about it.
Extra, read all about it. Horses can't vomit.
Horse
can't fit hoof down throat.
Can't fit hoof down throat. Hey, there's nothing about a horse fitting a hoof down a throat here.
Well, there hasn't been a newspaper boy in this bar in 25 years.
The last newsboy we had went on to become a wine merchant. You're talking to the ghost of a sommelier.
Why, here's a sommelier whisperer.
The sommelier whisperer.
Oh, we get President Schwarzenegger in a very weird gag that I've never really understood. I don't know why they're just using Rainier Wolfcastle to be Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
I mean, is that lazy? That feels lazy to me.
Yeah, because I think we may have talked about this previously, but the thing I don't get is Rainier Wolfcastle exists in the episode in the universe of The Simpsons.
Yeah,
I'm not sure that Schwarzenegger does.
Yeah,
it would have made more sense to have Rainier Wolfcastle as the president.
Yeah,
because then it would have been. It's the obvious analogy to Schwarzenegger anyway.
It's also weird that this, the president is always just whoever the actual president is.
I've heard the president is on the line as 99 red balloons go by.
Are you saying that love isn't always on time?
Fuck. That's good.
Well,
That's
good.
Gabbo.
Gabbo's back.
Oh, and the art teacher was there. Another Triumph guy.
Apparently he's
Hang on,
going to be in the...
It's called Moe's Bar on that sign. Is it not just called Moe's?
Or Moe's Tavern?
Yeah.
Huh.
That's fucking strange.
Well, I guess why would the people making the movie know or pay attention to any of
Yeah.
those details? You know what is very strange about this movie? This is like the Simpsons movie. The Simpsons is famous for having a lot of, big fancy Hollywood guest stars. All they have in this one is like Hank Azaria and a brief cameo by Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks' area.
Yes. Surely they could have loaded the cast of this movie.
Yeah.
People would be lining up down the fucking street to be in the Simpsons movie. They could have gotten...
Unless they saw a script and said there are no circumstances under which I'm appearing in this movie.
Could have gone like Ethan Hawke to be in the movie. Ethan Hawke could have been in the movie, Nick.
Fucking
Your favorite actor, Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke
Yeah.
of Reality Bites.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, you don't like Ethan Hawke?
Did you ever play Ethan Hawke's Pro Skater?
I did, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, it was directed by Paul Schrader.
Okay. What is that? Is that a skating reference of shredding?
No, but it could be.
Paul Schrader. Developed by Paul Schrader.
Paul Schrader was the villain of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot.
Ah, very good.
He was just a man.
All right.
To shred.
Cops are now shooting
There's a lot of
jokes
about guns in this movie.
Jokes about guns. Jokes about guns.
In fact, that is the third joke so far about cops misusing their guns.
Yeah, that's very silly.
This movie's not very good. I don't know if we've made that clear.
It's really not. What men without Ruth could have done this to us? Ruthless madmen. I'm so bored.
We're barely even watching the movie, and yet somehow it is still boring us, even though we're just having a conversation as friends.
I enjoy that. I'm just going back to subtitle corner.
Yep.
I enjoy that because the Russ Cargill guys is clearly because it's a voiceover.
Yeah.
They want it to appear different, so they've italicized the captions for Russ Cargill. But that makes it look, if anything, more jagged and blurred.
Yeah, there's a weird little thing where the subtitles are meant to indicate it's being spoken by somebody who's not in the room, I suppose.
I suppose so.
But he is on the screen.
He's on a
It's being
screen.
projected onto a giant screen.
Speaking of jagged, I don't know if I've mentioned this on the podcast, but Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill, her album from 1995, I think it is.
Sure.
That album really stacks up.
Oh, really?
I was listening to that.
Didn't we talk about this last episode?
Oh, shit, did we?
Somehow, Jagged Little Pill came up.
Really?
I feel like it might have.
All right, whatever. It's good, though.
Maybe we'll need to review it on the podcast at some point.
Did we go into a discussion? I'd be down for that. Did we go into a discussion about, like, first albums we bought? Because that was one of my first.
Yeah, I think we might have.
Yeah, okay. Or was that in the Revolver episode?
I thought it was the one with Elliot. I don't know.
Oh, with E-Train.
Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Kind of like this little joke where all the birds hit the dome and the cats are just standing there.
That's good.
That's a fun little thing.
That Dome, Sweet Dome. Oh,
Yeah.
I should do some knitting. Marge's knitting reminded me that I should knit.
Yeah, that's close to a joke.
Dome, Sweet Dome.
How is she only just now noticing that Mag is on the other side of the dome?
I mean, how much time has passed? If she's been able to knit an ode to the dome, a dome ode,
Domoed Arigato, Nick.
Domo-kun,
Yes.
that weird little...
Oh, yeah, she's
thing.
like jumping back and forth.
Oh, yeah,
between
okay,
it, isn't she?
that's the general conceit of this movie.
Yeah. That they go through the sinkhole and then somehow nothing else can follow them, even though surely that proves that digging under the dome would be a viable... This joke is the worst.
Homer seeing a reflection and thinking that he's outside of the dome is so dumb. Does
That
Homer
is
have
so-
Does Homer have no proprioception?
I mean, it's possible that he has no spatial awareness.
Yeah. No awareness of his body in space.
He hasn't gone... I mean, look, he's failing the Lacanian mirror test, basically, where, he's seeing the reflection. He is recognizing it as himself, but he's thinking it's some sort of, it's an extension of himself rather than a reflection.
I see.
Yeah.
Interesting subtitle watch. Ken Brockman's voice on the screen and italicized captions once again. So I think it's clear, in case anyone thought it wasn't, I think it is clear that italicized means voice on screen.
Sure. Good. Fantastic.
All right, so the police have found Homer's big metal
Pig
phallus.
dick. Yeah.
His big metal porcine phallus.
It's so thick.
Thick.
We got a tweet from a listener the other day about how much we have ruined his life.
I wonder if I can
thick.
find that tweet and read it, because I enjoyed it.
Yeah, there was a lot going on in that tweet.
There was a lot. Oh, I just bumped. Did that make a noise? Oh, God.
I truly hate this sequence of the movie. I feel like when I saw this movie in the cinema originally, I quite liked this scene where the townspeople come for the family.
Yeah.
On rewatch, it's like, this is too much. They are going too hard. It is like a scene out of Resident Evil 4.
Too much too soon, not earned?
Yeah.
Story checks out.
And I guess, I don't know, you could make a comment on mob justice here. You could talk about how this is really the entire town's fault for ruining the river, or, this is a social issue. This isn't just on one guy, or if it was on one guy, it would be on, the 1%. But, they don't do any of that.
No, they don't do any of that.
They just don't do anything interesting with any of the ideas they have in this movie, really.
They legitimately don't.
They have all these big themes, and they're all just plot points. There's no message behind anything that happens in this movie.
Hey, here's a tweet that I didn't see. Someone has asked us if they can get an MP3 of It's So Thick Isolated.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Oh, that's the same guy.
Yeah, that's Matt.
Alright, well, I've got to find his other tweet where he mashed together all of our phrases.
All of our phrases. And you go to his profile, you look at tweets and replies.
Oh, yeah, maybe that's the quick way of doing it.
Yeah.
I'm just going through all our menchies.
You can tell I'm in trouble because I'm already quite hungry. Didn't eat breakfast this morning.
Oh, shit.
Dickhead. But we'll have lunch afterwards. I'll just develop a sort of mania. This week, in the classes that I teach, in one of the classes, I gave 4 workshops on punctuation. And I've given this workshop many times before, but, obviously it's not the most interesting topic. And, I find that I have to maintain a very high level of energy when I'm giving a workshop on punctuation.
I see.
Because I cannot rely on the students to be inherently interested in it. But I've given this lecture in my lifetime, maybe close to 30 times at this point. And by the end, by the 4th time, I was basically in a state of mania from keeping up this high energy bullshit on this topic that is just not that exciting. At one point, I actually just shook my head and said to the students, guys, I am so tired. I am so sick of this content. I have given this so many times. This is my last class of the week. I haven't been sleeping that well. I'm just so tired of this. And they all just look at me blank. I'm like, let's get back to it. It's fine. I'm sorry.
What the hell happened to my little body boy? So
now,
thick.
This sequence...
Oh, I was doing the thing.
Sorry.
You're doing the thing.
It's just they have...
A noose.
5 nooses, including one that is specifically set aside for the baby. That is far too dark.
Baby noose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baby noose. It's too much, Nick.
So
it's too much.
I enjoyed this tweet. What the hell happened to my little buddy boy? So thick. Common lettuce is the iceberg lettuce. It's crunchy in an egg flip universe with the 9th member of the Simpsons family.
Don't you just read a tweet like that and feel like maybe we made the world a worse place?
Oh, I knew I'd made the world a worse place.
I
agree, though.
emceed a little animation competition the other day. I was like the master of ceremonies for it.
The master of ceremonies.
For a little event. It's called Loop de Loop. It happens bi-monthly. It's a very good animation event. And I was hosting it. And, it's like people submit their little animated things. The theme was pig. Some people put in these little, looping animations of pigs.
Sure.
And I watched that, and there was 100 of them submitted from all over the world. And I went up afterwards and said, don't you just feel, energized having watched this? Isn't this inspiring and cool and great? And now I'm thinking to, the things that we create and the things we put in the world. I'm like, I'm tired. What have we done?
Yeah.
Have we ruined the world with that bullshit?
I think this movie has done more to ruin the world than we have.
Yeah. There's a pig in this movie.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's all
So there is.
connected.
Little spider pig. Oh, Santos El Halper's kennel just got crushed in the sinkhole.
And if anyone in Adelaide would like to pay me to MC their event, I am available. I think I did an okay job.
I have no events coming up, but you can MC them anyway.
Okay. I'll be like 3 MCs and 1 DJ, and then I'll be getting down with no delay.
Oh.
Mixmaster Mike, what you got to say? Editing Bay James, if you can be bothered, insert some record scratching there, but actually don't worry about it. You're not going to have much time to edit this one.
I like the idea, perhaps, of you being 3 MCs that are put together in a way that doesn't actually make sense in physics, and you'll be MC Escher.
Ooh, well, I like that.
Yeah, thank you.
This is a nice little scene of the little boy putting the little song for Lisa.
I think it's impressive that the little boy who wrote... So Lisa couldn't hear the song he was playing, so he wrote the melody on the glass, but he wrote it backwards. And do you know how difficult it would be to do a treble clef backwards?
Yeah.
Treble clefs are very curly.
Nick, we all know how difficult that would be.
Well, sorry, I'll just get back in my box.
This is another one of those plot lines, Lisa having the crush on the boy, that the movie now must drop for basically the entire middle section.
Yeah.
And...
That's funny.
Yeah.
He threw his binoculars at the dome and they hit him in the head.
Yes.
Take that, Cargill. You fuck.
But I don't know. It would be nice if this movie was structured in a way where its plot threads didn't just disappear for like an hour.
Yeah.
Or however long this middle section is.
We're only 37 minutes in.
Fuck.
This feels like we've been doing this forever.
Yeah. Red Rash Inn. Is that fun? I guess.
I mean, if you like rashes.
Which I do.
Of bacon, because you're so epic fedora.
Now here's the scene where the 2 cops hook up. And this is not played as a gay joke particularly, is it? Like, it's nice that the 2 cops are in love? I don't know.
I think they're just...
It's weird, because there's a bunch of, like, weird, icky gay jokes in this movie.
Yeah, and then
there's that scene.
Yeah. And I wonder if, in the context of mid-2000s, maybe that was played as a joke. Oh, imagine 2 men in positions of authority being gay. Imagine.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like, yeah, all right, get on it.
Good. It's like one of the fucking Marvel executives the other day said, I think the world is ready for a gay superhero now. I think we can do that. I'm like, motherfucker, you could have done that anytime.
Anytime.
Yeah. If the world wasn't ready, you should have done it anyway.
Yeah, right.
You are the trendsetters now. You have the biggest franchise. It's up to you to lead the way on shit like this, but you won't. You're not going to fucking do it.
I think the world is ready.
It took you 22 movies to make a movie about a woman.
Oh,
Jesus.
That's so many movies.
Yeah. Even like fucking DC, for all their faults, like 2 of the first 4 movies were about women.
And look, I'm no expert statistician.
Yes.
I know that might be disappointing for you to hear. But I reckon the split of male-female is more than 22-1.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I kind of feel like maybe there should have been more representation of women earlier on in these Marvel movies. Look at me, giving an opinion on a movie as though I could give a fuck.
Maybe Disney's next movie will be about a world in which there are 22 men for every
Imagine a
one
world
woman.
in which there are 22 men for every one woman.
Hmm.
Coming this summer. New from Disney Studios. Jesus Christ, pick it up yourself for once.
I mean, I'd say that would be a bad movie, but it's just kind of what every movie really looks like, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much what every movie looks like. Except for Frozen, the only movie worth watching.
Yeah.
Is that real? Homer just said Alaska, a place where you can't get too fat or too drunk. Is that real?
I don't know.
Is it possible that is he saying that it's impossible to get a hangover in Alaska because you can't get too drunk? Is he saying it's impossible to get diabetes in Alaska? Is there something about the cold temperature in Alaska that prevents hangovers and diabetes?
I get the sense that this movie had some sort of agreement with the Alaskan Tourism Board.
Oh, the ATV?
This movie, yes, exactly, the ATV. That's the ATB, yes.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yes.
Not the all-terrain vehicle.
Yeah, the All Toins Bulletin.
Old Toints.
Yep, that's what I settled on, baby.
The old Toints bulletin.
Because this movie suddenly veers very dramatically into how great Alaska is.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a town.
No, I'm not going to get into a parody. I'm tired. That's probably not a great thing to announce midway through a podcast. I'm not going to make jokes. I'm too tired for that.
There's still so long left.
Even though this is a very short movie.
Yeah, right.
Now, Homer's just opened the window and there are various billboards in different languages. Is this like a good or a bad thing in the movie's opinion?
What he was saying with all those billboards in the background were America, a place where any American can get rich with no questions asked. And then it's clear that the Americans were not the ones doing the work. It was the Japanese and the Mexicans. That's my interpretation of that.
And now we get this Wheel of Death scene, which is a very weird thing to just have in the middle of your movie.
No, but it sets up the thing at the end.
Yeah, but it's still weird.
Yeah, it's not
this
good.
Is how he makes his money. This is one of those things where this is a thing Homer shouldn't be able to do, but he just has to, so he does. It's not good writing, Nick.
It's not good writing.
One of the 2 movies of the last 12 or so years I can think of that has a Wheel of Death scene.
The other one?
The Place Beyond the Pines.
Ah, The Place Beyond the Pines.
Yes. Which is a better movie than this one.
I see.
It's got Ryan Gosling in it. Your favorite goose.
Look at him going around and around and around and around.
Yeah. There's just there's no writing in this scene.
But also, as far as fairground attractions go, normally those challenges are things like the bike where the gearing of the handlebars is reversed, so when you turn the handlebars left, the front wheel goes right. Or things like the ladder that's affixed at both ends that can rotate freely. Not things that'll kill you, like ride a motorbike in a fucking ball.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
I mean, something like that is probably quite expensive to operate as well, I would think.
I mean, imagine how many motorbikes you have to buy. Because if someone gets to... Mo's in his little underwear. They're Duff branded underpants too. That's fun. That's a fun little touch. If someone...
Just get a fucking test of strength thing going.
Oh my god, Homer's eating a hot dog and I really want a hot dog now. Hot dogs are, for the record, terrible, but the combination of tomato sauce and mild American mustard on a fatty, salty vessel is one of my favourite flavour combinations.
Have you had the hot dogs at the little plug for an Adelaide business that had treated us very well recently? Have you ever had the hot dogs at the Franklin Hotel?
Oh, yes, I have. They
fucking rule.
The one I had was the Adonis, I think, the Greek-themed one.
Yeah, I don't think they do that one anymore. I was there the other day, and I was there with someone. We got 2. We split them in half. I always just get the standard one, which is really nice, but then we got this Canadian maple one. It was really fantastic.
Excellent.
With maple bacon and sauteed onion and just a bunch of other ingredients.
Maple bacon.
Bacon.
The one I had last was so ridiculously over the top because it had
olives, was it?
It had grated normal cheddar cheese and feta cheese and halves of cherry tomatoes and olives and rocket and something else. It was amazing.
Little shout out to the Franklin Hotel on Franklin Street in Adelaide. Legitimately one of my favourite bars in our city, I think.
Yeah.
Just a really nice place.
I enjoy that they do... It's weird, because I say that I enjoy this. I've never actually taken advantage of this promotion, but I enjoy that they do the mystery beer.
Oh, I've done that many times.
Yeah. See, because I don't like lagers, it's always... I'm always nervous about doing the mystery beer in case I get saddled with something I don't like. Yeah, you pay your money. They give you a brown paper bag. Inside it is a long neck. Usually, is it usually a long neck or it's
not a long neck?
Oh, okay. Inside it is a mystery bottle of beer.
Yeah, I've done it a few times. I get Smiling Samoy quite a bit in there. It's nice. I was there the other day. Had a very nice mango sour beer.
Sour beers are an interesting one.
Yeah, I've been getting into them a bit more recently for reasons I'll get into when we're not recording. But it's I
see.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I'm a particularly sour person, so you'd think I would like the sour beers.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you always, I don't know, you've got a much more narrow range of beers you enjoy than I do, I think.
I don't know. You've said that to me before, and it really annoys me.
Does it? Well, it's okay. All I mean is, like, I'll often say, like, I like this kind of beer, and you'll say, I don't like it for this specific reason.
Yeah.
And I never think about it in that much depth. Like, I'm open to enjoying any style of beer.
Yeah. See, I do not enjoy lager. I routinely do not enjoy lagers. So if I have a choice, I will avoid a lager.
Sure.
I'm an aleman.
So they're in Alaska now. In this movie that I guess we're still watching.
And Bart's clapping to cause avalanches to bury his little father.
His little father, he do.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You know what this
I'm
movie...
buried, I am.
You know what this movie has not made clear?
Whether or not it's set within the Frozen universe.
No. Oh, that's an interesting idea.
Now that Disney owns Fox.
No, what I was going to say was the movie has not made clear which one's Bart.
Oh. He's the little boy.
Oh, he's the little boy.
Yeah, he's the one in the the one in the little shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Barty Boy.
Is he still wearing shorts in Alaska? That seems cold.
Maybe he wasn't. Gnome, sweet gnome.
What does Nome mean?
Interesting.
Is that an Alaskan word for, like, hut?
Potentially. Oh, we get this,
Oh,
do I like this sequence, Nick?
Nome is a city in Alaska.
Huh.
That's fun. How's this? Nome is a city in the Nome census area in the unorganized borough of Alaska, United States. But unorganized borough is capitalized. Capital U, capital B.
That's curious.
They have an area called the... Oh.
I think I like this sequence. This little, like, this little Disney sequence of the creatures helping Homer and Marge to fuck.
Yeah, they're helping Homer and Marge to get undressed. It's a bit of fun. What movie is this meant to be parodying?
It's just like some sort of Disney. Is it like Snow White?
Yeah, I think it's Snow White, yeah.
I like the reaction shot of the animals staying in the room while Homer and Marge get down. I like the...
Yeah.
I feel like that's subtle.
Yeah.
The
It's
terror
good.
on their face.
It's good, I like it.
You know, like, they don't overplay how disgusted the animals are.
Yeah, the animals have more of a shock.
Yes. Now, the Springfield Book Club running out of books for their book club
is not consistent with the idea of being under a dome.
Yeah. I mean, if a bookstore... bookstores don't just carry one book. If there's a library in town, which there is... Yeah.
And it is definitely close enough to the center of town that it is within the bounds of the dome.
Yeah, it's the implication that every month they were... How long have they been in this dome as well that this has become an issue? What is the time frame on this movie?
I don't know. I mean, Kent Brockman is looking disheveled.
And they show them attacking the dome, and they start to crack it. You know. It should be like... I guess Ken probably did actually say day so-and-so a moment ago, didn't he? We just weren't paying close attention.
Probably.
This movie... To me, it's not as good as Citizen Kane was, you know?
Citizen Kane.
I'm teaching a film studies course this semester, and my students actually watched Citizen Kane the other day.
How'd it go?
They didn't like it as much as I do. One of them did. One of
Right.
them said they loved it, and I had a good time talking to them, but, you know...
High distinction for them.
I mean, maybe.
That's how it
We'll
works,
see.
right?
I
You think the same as I do. You'll be rewarded.
I shouldn't talk about the specifics of my students too much, I guess. This is a particular student that I think is doing good stuff. But anyway,
Sure.
I really like my students this semester, Nick. They're really good. I hope if any of them are listening, you're doing a good job, and I'm enjoying having you in my class.
Why would any of them be listening?
I go to great lengths to avoid mentioning the fact that I have a podcast.
Yeah.
Last year when I was teaching television studies, one of my students was like doing a project on The Simpsons, and I'm like, I can't recommend they look down certain avenues for research.
Exactly.
Have to make sure they do not discover this podcast in their research.
Do not go researching podcasts.
Yes. Hey, look, it's Tom Hanks.
Saying the US government has lost its credibility.
Yeah.
That's good.
They got Tom Hanks in this movie because they wanted the most trustworthy actor imaginable.
Is that still the case?
I would say so. Tom Hanks, he's pretty trustworthy. You put him behind the controls of your plane, and even if you hit some birds, he'll land it on the Hudson, you know?
Sully.
Yes.
Sully Sullenberger.
Yes. Clint Eastwood's best film in the last 10 years at least, I want to say.
And one of the more curmudgeonly burgers. The Sullen Burger.
Yes.
Yes.
Aaron Eckhart has such a big mustache in that movie, much bigger than my mustache, which is
Eckhart
already
Tolle?
brushing against the mic. I don't know how he would deal with it.
Eckhart Tolle? Is that who you said?
Eckhart Tolle?
Yeah.
What?
He's an artist.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Aaron Eckhart Tolle? No.
Yeah, just keep saying the name. Eventually it'll get funny.
I'm just doing my favorite thing of, like, stupid word association.
Here's a weird thing where Bart has drawn Flanders' face over a photo of Homer. And now Homer is viciously choking his son.
As usual.
As Bart says, diddly. I mean, it's weird. It is a weird thing.
Diddly diddly dee. I'm genuinely losing the will to go on.
I mean...
Goodness gracious me.
We're getting it done, though. Still fairly early in the day.
Yep.
I'm getting hungry, even though it's only 12:15. I should have eaten breakfast. I've gotten in like a really good... I mean, obviously I haven't because I didn't eat breakfast today, but I was in like a good breakfast pattern. I've reached the point now where if I don't eat breakfast, I notice it, and I think that's a good thing, you know?
I see.
Here's Homer playing a arcade version of Grand Theft Walrus, which is a weird joke, because the joke is just that it is Grand Theft Auto.
But Auto sounds a bit like Walrus, I guess.
And why would it be an arcade machine? Eskimos, that's a bit better.
Eskimos, good
Even though
name
we're
for a
not,
bar.
I mean, the word Eskimo you're not supposed to use anymore.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
But still.
that's fair. Okay, what would the bar be called if you use the correct? Oh, it'd be a spirits bar called Ginuit.
Ooh, that's much better.
Thank you.
Now, this scene, the scene where Homer plays the VHS that Marge has left him, this scene I have a difficult relationship with because I actually find it very effective in a movie that has not earned this moment.
I agree.
Yeah.
I wish though,
I
because
think like Julie Kavner, I believe, had a cold when she recorded this, and
Yeah,
it makes her sound ill.
yeah,
And it is one of the best pieces of performances Julie Kavner's done in like the later run of The Simpsons, I would imagine.
yes. Before her voice was a shattered husk of a voice.
Before she kind of always sounded like this.
Yeah, exactly. But there's one note that I would make.
Yeah.
So when Homer walks in and finds the VHS tape on the bed with a post-it note that says "Play me in VCR,"
Yeah.
it would have been a nice callback, I think, to have "Play me." Oh yeah, with what, Marge? And then flick up in VCR.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, right.
But this is a nice scene. The fact that, you know, we see her get the wedding video earlier, now she's taped over it. You get the song, which takes us all the way back to season 2. Really nice little scene. Unearned moment.
Unearned moment.
I mean, this is a very professionally shot wedding video
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, that was like a full rig tracking shot.
Yeah, and there is an extraordinary, like, you know, background fade in the middle of it.
Yeah. Some
Like,
crazy
the production values on that.
some depth of field stuff going on.
Yeah.
Homer's sliding
Like,
down.
they got, like, Denis Villeneuve to film their wedding.
Denis Villeneuve.
Yes.
Homer's on a little ice shelf that's shaped like a heart that broke apart, looking like every Green Day
Or
album.
maybe it was
artwork
like
from the mid-2000s.
Emmanuel, what's his surname? Lubinsk? The guy who shot Days of Heaven?
Who are you talking about?
Did he do Days of... No, that wasn't him. He did Tree of Life.
Oh, you mean
It doesn't matter.
You mean Just Like Heaven by The Cure?
I'm just thinking about cinematographers.
Ah, sure. Oh, that's right. This character.
Yeah, this whole weird sequence
The-
has some sort
the
of...
the busty Inuit.
Yes.
Yeah, this is
Homer gets taken in by a shaman who just sort of, you know, tells him to go and do whatever. Oh, there's a scene here that's going to have aged a bit weirdly. Now that Disney owns The Simpsons,
Oh yeah,
Bart putting on
Bart
bra
putting on
and
a-
saying that he's the mascot of an evil corporation.
in a Little Mickey voice.
Little Mickey voice.
I'm a
How
real
is Little
boy.
Mickey, by the way?
How is Little Mickey? He's so fine.
I mean, that blows my mind, honestly.
Oh, thank you for picking up what I was putting down. That's one of those weird moments where I say it and I'm kind of staring at you going, you got it? Yeah, okay, cool, you got it, you
Yeah,
got
he's
it.
here. The thing is, he's so pretty and I don't understand it.
Mickey.
Yes.
Oh. Sure.
Ooh. A joke about government surveillance. A joke about the incompetence of government surveillance.
Yeah.
I feel like now, if they want to find us, they can find us.
Really not a fan of any kind of surveillance, really.
No.
Hey,
Government, maybe stay out of my business, why don't you?
Hey, government, leave us alone.
Hey, government, leave those kids alone.
Oh.
Just another brickin' fuck.
Pink Floyd. Fuck. All I could think then was Pearl Jam. I'm like, that ain't right. Hey, government, little kid alone.
I'm glad this movie's not very long, Nick.
I just want to apologize to anyone who's still listening.
Maybe this is good. I don't know. We're on the latest episode of the Simpsons Index.
That was a fun time.
Yeah, I was listening back to that today. I'm like, oh, this is good. We did a good job of this.
Yeah. I mean, it's always fun when we get to hang out with E-Train.
Yeah. It's weird. I like our podcast. I listen back to it. I'm like, oh, this is good. I would listen to this even if I wasn't one of the people on it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think I mentioned, I said something about like listening to my podcast to someone the other day, and if someone incredulously said, "You listen back to your own podcast?" Like, yeah, why wouldn't I? It's good. It's a good podcast.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, on the basis that my mantra has always been, why would I make... Because I felt the same when I was in a band as well. I used to listen to the recordings that my band made because I wrote the type of song that I wanted to hear. Why was it weird for me to listen to it?
And it's also like, if we want to keep getting better, and I feel like we peaked, this is the best podcast in the world, but, if you want to keep getting better, you got to listen to your own work to, figure out. Because one thing that I've said to you is that these episodes used to require a lot more editing than they do now because we used to have a lot of little vocal tics that we now don't do anymore.
Yeah.
Got to listen to your own podcast, baby.
Got to listen to the cast when it's made for you.
Very good.
Homer's been pulled to bits. His shoe is one bit. His leg is another bit. He's now put back together.
Yeah, because he's realized... What was the lesson there? Like, he needs to be less selfish or whatever?
Oh, I don't fucking know. The weird tree clapping hands are strange.
Just, the scene in the movie where the guy needs to realize that he was in the wrong.
Yeah. I'm a fuckwit. Boo.
I'm a fuckwit. Howdy, howdy, howdy.
He says he's going to drop 10 pounds. How much is 10 pounds in the kilograms?
Like 4.5?
10 pounds.
Maybe less than that.
Kilos. It is 4.5, yeah. 4.536.
Jesus.
I'll forgive you the 0.036 that you didn't get. God, I'm just... I can't focus on the screen anymore.
How many more minutes we got in this thing?
Let me have a look. The movie's a minute 23. We're at 58:42.
Oh, that's not so bad. 25
Still
minutes.
Long time, James. It's a long time.
If this was just a standard recording, we'd be just finishing the first episode by now.
Yeah, I guess so. But think of how much more fun we have in those recordings because we didn't have to watch the Simpsons movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Can we resolve to never watch this again?
We already did that.
I know. And then I decided it would be funny. And boy howdy was I wrong.
We should have just watched Grown Ups 2 52 times instead.
Hey Tim, hey Guy.
Tim, Guy. During the bleak period where I moved in and lived with Nick, it wasn't bleak. I very much enjoyed living with you, but it was a bleak period in our lives, and we both listened to all of the first season of The Worst Idea of All Time, that podcast about the two New Zealand comedians who watched Grown Ups 2 52 times, and we started calling each other Tim, which is the name of one of the characters, because there was one reference in there that we enjoyed that ended with the word Tim.
Oh, I don't think we had to make that comparison, Tim.
Yeah.
So, we called each other Tim for about 2 years. And then when we started doing this podcast, you specifically said to me, Nick, you've got to stop calling me Tim.
I said I need to stop doing it as well. It wasn't just on you.
It won't fly on the podcast.
It will be weird if on a podcast we are referring to each other as Tim.
Sure, will, Tim.
I think we still did it at least once.
Yeah, once or twice. And I reckon you got out of it with the get out of jail free card of, it's not worth taking the time to explain that. And then we did, because we've got nothing else to talk about. Because this movie's so fucking good. sop.
We're coming up on... Remember, this is like one of the 2 gags that they released like a teaser trailer for to like show off what the movie was going to be like. This Between a Rock and a Hard Place gag coming up.
No, I don't remember.
Very nice sound effect coming up. The little tink.
Oh, the tink is good.
The little tink of the wrecking ball tapping the side of the van.
Yeah.
But now we get this very tedious gag.
Yeah, and
the 2 things they put out in teaser trailers were this and the hammer in the eye.
I hate it so much.
Why is the bar called a hard place?
Why is there a tavern called a hard place?
Yeah, the great thing about editing this episode is because we're watching it along with the movie, I really can't cut anything out, which is going to make it very easy to edit this one.
You can use envelopes to mute things, but cutting out is going to be difficult.
Just won't cut anything.
Just won't cut anything.
Oh, Bart's going to scratch his shackles. I feel like Bart really goes through a lot in this movie.
Sounds like an old-timey phrase. Well, scratch my shackles. There hasn't been a shackle scratcher around here for 40 years.
Shackle scratcher.
Shackle
scratcher here.
General shackle scratcher. Oh, that's weird.
Hey, Ma, the shackle scratcher's in town.
The families, Marge, Lisa, Bart, and Maggie are lying down in what almost could have been a swastika if any of them had their legs bent.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be careful. You just gotta be careful. I've got a tweet going viral today. What are we up to on the tweet? The tweet is a screenshot of a thing I saw on Facebook about a cat who has been appointed Lord of Bishu Matsuyama Castle.
The hell happened to my lord?
In Japan. It's currently on 7,793 retweets and 19.1 thousand likes. I feel a little weird about this because, I didn't do anything. I did make a follow-up tweet, kind of the, listen to my SoundCloud equivalent. The cat is going viral. Please listen to my podcast. Also, Point the Point and Clickbait Patreon. I'll talk about that in a moment. Or both. Okay, love you. That has 1 retweet and 71 likes.
Wow.
I should mention what that's about. Last week, I joined Point and Clickbait, which is a little satire website about video games, and I'm now like the second in command there. And we have a Patreon, and if you support that Patreon, you can give me some money. Why not do that, huh? Wouldn't that be nice?
Don't say what are you so afraid of. For anyone wondering, my cryptocurrency account is at $26.30.
A total loss of about $24.
No, because I put in more.
All right.
I think my total investment has been $75.
Okay.
And I have $26
so it's down to about a third.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll bounce back.
Oh, will it?
That seems to be the trend in cryptocurrency, right? People are all about it.
But the thing is, it hasn't bounced back for a very long time.
Yeah. Well, I feel like cryptocurrency gets a bad rap just because it's destroying the environment and a fundamentally bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's great.
Yeah.
Homer's got a jetpack that he's ignoring for a tube of superglue.
Oh.
What a man.
Oh, now he's going to get his hand stuck to his little balls. He grabs so viciously at his crotch there. I find it upsetting.
I find everything upsetting. The caption then was grunting and screaming, and the same.
Still says grunting and screaming. Speaking of grunting and screaming and being upset, what is our plan after this? Are we going to record another episode?
I think we're going to get some food and then then record another episode.
Okay, because
we're going to start season 6.
Are we going to start season 6?
I guess so.
Okay.
Isn't that what we're scheduled to do?
Look, I got a bit of a thought. I've had an idea thing, and maybe you won't be on board with it. Maybe the idea will fundamentally upset you, and you'll refuse to do it.
Is it to watch this movie again?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'll get into it in a moment.
Oh, you're going to tease me on it?
Foreshadowing.
I'm petrified to find out what's happening now. Oh my god.
I got a little bit of an idea for what we could do next to properly close out the season. We'll see.
Yeah, alright. So, for any listeners who are wondering if I'm playing along, I genuinely don't know what he has in mind.
Well, I mean, you surprised me with this. Maybe it's time for me to get my revenge.
Okay. Excellent. That sounds good. Not ominous at all. Are we going to go through the Croatian Playboys again?
No.
Oh, okay.
I know that you're talking about the magazine, but I like to imagine you just want to do an episode about, like, Playboys who live in Croatia.
And here we see Eduardo. Look at him. Look at him with his
Look at him on his yacht.
Look at him with his thick chest hair.
Now, this guy was a real Playboy in my book. My book being Playboy.
My book of
Croatia.
players.
By the way, the editor of Penthouse Australia is listening. You still owe me about $700, so...
Oh.
I don't think I've ever gained that money. Penthouse Australia really fucked me.
Oh.
I mean,
Is this something you want to be? Is this something you want to be putting out in the public record?
Well, here's the thing. Like, I wrote some stuff at Penthouse Australia, and now I'm kind of a bit embarrassed about it because, like, the people running Penthouse Australia are real fuckboys. Like, they tried to, like, fund a tour of Milo Yiannopoulos. I feel like maybe I should owe her up to the fact that I did write some stuff for them.
Yeah.
And I'm now a little bit ashamed.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Far out.
Because, yeah, you know.
Did they try to fund that tour under the basis that they are the last true bastion of free speech or some bullshit like that?
Something like that. Because
Yeah.
they got in contact with me. They wanted some tech writing. So I mostly wrote about what a piece of shit Elon Musk is. Like, a lot of my writing for them was just like, you know, look at this fuckboy. You know, I thought, you know, this magazine, it's got some problems. Maybe I can get, like, a bit of, like, you know, leftist ranting in here, and, you know,
Yeah.
that can be a thing that I do. So I did, and then they never paid me.
Interesting.
Yeah. So don't write for Penthouse. And, yeah,
Ah.
they've employed, like, some good writers who write about interesting stuff, and then they've employed fucking, like, Daisy Cousins as well. So,
Yeah.
you know.
The little AI robot just got overwhelmed, so they unleashed an AI robot to try and disarm the bomb.
Yep.
He got so overwhelmed by the pressures of life that he blew his little AI brains out.
Yep.
Same.
Distressing.
Yeah. 13, 11, 14, if you need help from
Yep.
Lifeline. Is this ever going to end? I know that we're approaching like the final climax scene, but gosh,
Now
darn.
we get another grand Homer has to do something, so he's just capable of doing it scene.
Homer Ex Machina.
Yep. Oh, that's good. I mean, kind of.
I don't actually think it works.
Well, Deus and Homer have very little, you know. Homer is in the machine, I guess, would be the...
Yes, Homer is in the machine, as
Yeah.
opposed to what is
God.
that? God is in the machine. Yeah, of course. I should have known that from our school motto, James.
Deo Duque? was
Yeah,
it?
with God as our leader.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, that felt very, thank God you're here. Oh, and our school motto, which is, of course,
Thank God you're here, a specific reference to an Australian TV show from the mid-2000s that we both enjoyed.
no,
Ted Limited.
I didn't enjoy it.
I
at all.
liked it when Micallef or Frank Woodley was on it.
Yeah,
Because they would kind of, like, refuse the call.
yeah. And
Like, I remember Frank Woodley went on there once, and clearly... Because the premise of this show was it would be like an improv
you were
show
thrown
where...
into the middle of an improv scene.
Yeah, but like it would always be like, here's very obvious setup, and then they'd respond. And if like they didn't respond in a way the person who had a script liked, the person with the script would just try to steer them back in a certain direction.
Yeah, and it, like I hated that show because of the obviousness of the setups, and my standard response to that show is, oh yes, our school motto, which is, of course.
Yeah.
And then they just stare expectantly at the person. And the thing that drove me nuts about it is that the fucking audience of the show, they wouldn't laugh for the genuinely funny answers of Micallef et al.
Yeah.
They'd be laughing for the comedians who go, or poo. And it's
Yeah.
like, no, do heaps better than that.
So that show really did not do enough to actually encourage like good improvisation. But my favorite thing that I remember from that show is when Sean Micallef, funniest person in Australia, it's him and Demi Lardner, they're my favorites. But he was meant to be like the host of a children's show. And they went in and the other host, the one with the script, said to him, So what is what's the letter of the week this week, which is not a funny setup.
Yep.
And he said, this week's letter is from Alfred Gurns.
Yes. Yeah. What a
Which I
name.
think is just very funny because Alfred Gurns is an inherently funny name.
Yes.
And he immediately ruins the setup, takes off in a different direction, and then shortly afterwards, somebody in a giant bear costume walked in as the next character, and McCarthy pointed at him and said, "It's Alfred Gurns."
Yeah, because it was like, oh, and Sean, who's this coming into the set now? Oh, that's it's Alfred Gurns.
But then the person with the script is like, "No, don't be silly. It's so and so." It's like, fuck off. Just follow McAuliffe on
it's
this.
So dumb that
You're meant to yes and
the
not
entire-
no. Sorry, but
the entire point of the show is improvisation, and then they don't let you improvise. It's very dumb.
we've just got this scene where they fall down the gorge and they show the ambulance that crashed with Homer in it back in season 2. Kind of like that.
Yeah, it's quite nice.
Yeah. And then the dome shatters,
In a
killing
blitz.
Dr. Nick Riviera and probably some other people.
In an absolute blitz of computer animation, that dome shatters. Oh, Dr. Nick got a huge shard of glass right in his little dick.
Right in his urethra.
Jesus, that's precise.
Yep. Why is Russ in Springfield
Why is
now
the
with his
movie
shotgun?
still going? Also, you know something that, like, a major plot hole in this movie? The entire reason it was put under the dome was the toxicity of the lake was going to spread and eventually take over America with its toxicity. It's been months under the dome and everyone is still alive. I feel like the lake was not that toxic.
Yeah, fuck, you're right. This movie, again, it just drops its environmental message entirely. Like, it doesn't matter to the movie.
Yes.
It's like that whole thing in, like, at the start of an episode of The Simpsons, there'll quite often be an A-plot that gets dropped. Except, like, the A-plot is something that, in this case, should be essential to the movie. Like, this is a very major theme it's working with.
Should be. Isn't. What do you want for lunch?
Good question. I am hungry. What are you thinking?
Don't know. Do we get banh mi again? Or do we go to Sushi Train?
Is Sushi Train going to be fucked today?
Yeah, probably. Almost certainly.
I do like a good banh mi. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We are but two men.
I feel like, I don't know, would it be better to, like, go and buy something rather than to order something and then wait for it?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, but I don't want to go to Wok in a Box or Noodle Box. I forget which one's nearest to me.
Yeah. We can have a look at Sushi Train. Maybe it won't be fucked.
Maybe.
Maybe a miracle will happen.
We better put some real pants on then. Or at least some shoes.
Well, before we do that, this movie, how much longer we got left on this movie?
10 minutes.
Okay,
somehow.
So I'm gonna pitch you on my idea for the next episode now and have you spend like 9 minutes, I guess, trying to talk me out of doing it.
Oh, God.
Right, so, look, this is something we've talked about doing for a while, but I thought, to really make it happen.
Wait, you're going to pull something out of your bag? What hell have you got in your bag for me?
Well, the thing is, like, I didn't allude to this before because in the spirit of the
What are you
podcast,
rummaging through your bag
I
for?
wanted to be a bit sneaky with it. I've brought with me...
Oh, you brought Twin Peaks.
Yep, I've brought Twin Peaks with me, because we have a bit of time, it's a bit long, but I think we have time to do it today. I thought maybe we could watch the pilot of Twin Peaks and finally do an episode of Sneaky Peaks.
Oh, God. Well, we're gonna have to do it eventually. So yeah, all right. We've got enough time today that we can fucking watch.
Okay, so
fucking Peaks.
Nick, here's the thing. I think maybe you will kind of like Twin Peaks.
I'm gonna be astonished if I do.
Okay.
Also, by the
Nick?
way, hang on. I just want to say to the listeners. So I pulled up the time code a minute ago, and the time has 10 minutes left. You started.
Credits are now rolling.
But the credits are now rolling. You timed that reveal perfectly.
Yes, I did. So this movie is essentially only 74 minutes long.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh, that's fucking bonkers. Oh, God. All right. Why do you think I'll like Twin Peaks? I should have known something was up when you brought a fucking bag along. You said it was to collect your underpants and your Playboy.
The pilot is a very dramatically interesting piece of work. It is modeled on a soap opera in many ways.
You're a dramatically interesting
look,
piece
it's full
of
of
work.
very attractive women.
Oh, that's
which
right.
I think
then.
you will like.
Yeah.
It's genuinely interesting and weird. And okay, I'm going to say something just before we watch this. All I ask of you is that while we are watching Twin Peaks, you take how invested I am in Twin Peaks seriously enough to not make fun of me for enjoying it.
No, that's fine. That's
Okay.
fine. That's fine. That's fine. I can definitely.
And if you could go in with like an open enough mind to the fact that I have said this is a very good thing, and even if you don't like it, there's some value there.
Yeah, I know. I'm happy to make fun of. I'm happy to make fun of you in the abstract, but when we're actually watching it, I'm not going to be sitting there going, "Oh, get a load of this horse shit."
This is like that time we watched Muppets Christmas Carol, and you got annoyed at me because I kept making jokes, which is fair.
Yeah, because I'm very invested in that film.
Yeah.
Do we have to keep watching the end credits?
No, I think we're probably good.
Okay.
The end credits are rolling. That has been the Simpsons movie. That's the. How many times do you think you've seen this movie?
Well, this is the third time we've watched it for this, and I think I'd seen it maybe twice or three times before.
Well, I saw it twice in the cinema, and then my sister really liked it. I think I owned it on DVD. I watched it at least once, and I watched it with her a few times. I've probably seen this movie like 8 times.
It's too many times.
It's not very good either.
Too many times.
Citizen Kane I've seen twice.
Okay. So, next time you hear my voice, I'll be in a post-Twin Peaks world on the next episode.
Yeah, and possibly we will never watch the Simpsons movie ever again in our lives.
Yeah, I hope we don't. Does is Twin Peaks, is that going to be a 22 Flims, or are we going to start a new subgenre?
It'll be Sneaky Peeks.
Oh, it'll be the first titled episode of Sneaky Peeks.
Yes.
That means they're going to be
Well, that's
more
why I
of them,
kept it
James.
secret.
That means there are going to be more episodes you make me
we'll
watch.
see how we go with this one.
Yeah, okay. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Peace out. Wizard Wazzle? Fuck.
Oh, I've got to... Oh, fuck. I need
If
a
only
line.
this movie had any lines in it.
Hang on. Oh, let me think of a line. Oh, the only ones I can think of are all terrible.
Just say one of those.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, go again.
Wizard Wazzle.
Thank you, boob lady.
In
Springfield. I've hit record just because I didn't want to have to get up off the couch, but I figure what we'll do is we'll get to the menu screen and then do an intro.
Yeah. I mean, this can be the sting. We're watching the Piracy. It's a crime ad, and I mean, there's really nothing to say about this that hasn't been said. This ad is one of the most over-discussed ads, I think, in the modern canon, and nobody has anything funny or interesting left to say about it.
No.
Maybe I would steal a car if I could just download it. And we're getting an ad for Channel 10, the old home of The Simpsons. Weird to see an ad for television on a DVD. 2 outdated mediums. And Marshall McLuhan might argue that the medium is the message, and there's still, some compelling information to be taken from this artifact. But I don't know, McLuhan. Nick is adjusting his mic stand.
Shut up. I was under the very strict impression that we weren't going to do any talking until we got to the menu screen. And then you launch into this thing, and I'm like, well, I'm not ready yet, so I'm not going to interact.
That's perfect. That is just our interactions boiled down. Just me rambling some bullshit, and you loudly telling me to shut up. Wonderful.